best entertainment on the earth. Tune in for Comics with Perch.
Hey everybody, this is Perch. Well, today Disney released first images of Crater, a new series that will be launching in May on their streaming service, Disney+. They also created their workforce. See what I did there? See, there really is a streaming service called Crater. That wasn't. Anyway, what's going on? Disney made significant cuts. When I say significant, I mean 7,000 full-time employees and an undisclosed amount of contractors and temporary resources. Basically, what they do is they put the company out a do not hire for external consultancies and other things. You have to get a special approval order to do it. This is how they weed out the McKinseys and Accentures and Capgeminis and others that are in that company to say basically you can't expand, you can't lay off a bunch of employees and then rehire them back as temps or anything like that. We're truly going to try and save money. How much money? $5.5 billion is what Disney is trying to cut in order to improve their financial outlook. What does it mean? A lot of videos speculating on, oh my God, Disney's cratering. They need money. Yeah, Disney needs to improve their financial outlook. That doesn't mean the company's going out of business tomorrow. If you want to find out what the Disney parks and resorts and cruise ships and basically all those operations cost to run in a day, you can look at what happened in COVID when a lot of those places were shut down. I mean, they were in effect, it was like $1 billion a month. Anyway, there's a lot of lost revenue that comes up out of all this. So Disney is trying to improve performance because they definitely need to. Who got fired? Well, what is this? Lots of people is a short answer, but what does this have to do with comics? Well, it basically brings a prediction I had true that I didn't think was going to come true, which I said last year, and I repeated about a couple months ago. You've heard it before, that Disney is about to roll Marvel more formally under Disney, and they're going to remove Marvel Entertainment as a standalone entity. They're going to just fold it into the company proper. That was signaled a while back when Kevin Feige was put in charge of things, but they still had the company operating as an independent system. You had Ike Perlmutter as a CEO, still kind of as a subsidiary, if you will, and that was how the relationship worked for a while. It felt like they were moving close to that. COVID hit. They had the operational issues and kind of scrambling for the obviously more business sensitive parts to their business. Marvel Comics is a rounding error to a large extent inside the company. And so it was largely ignored. But Ike Perlmutter did get in the news recently, basically trying to oust, you work with the board of directors to try and cause trouble for Bob Iger. And there was also a lot of talk of how he clashed with Kevin Feige, tried to get him fired, and then Iger stepped in and then moved the movie division out from under Ike. Ike then worked with some of the board directors to try and make a big change. Anyway, there's a video talking about that, but a lot of these things happen. So the only real surprise here is that Ike Perlmutter wasn't taken care of long before now. But today was Ike's last day. He was ousted, fired from the company, laid off, however you want to put it, part of a riff. No tears for Ike. I mean, he's going to get an incredibly nice severance package and a nice legal agreement to keep his mouth shut, in exchange for a ton of money. So Ike will be fine. But the bigger news is that, what I mentioned was going to happen, which is Marvel folding into Disney proper, has now happened. In effect, Marvel Entertainment as a standalone entity no longer exists, and it is now part of, the Marvel Studios run by Kevin Feige. Dan Buckley will now report to Feige, and a number of executives are being asked to leave. So, if you remember, Joe Quesada had left the company several months ago. We had John Terzin, who's chief counsel for Marvel Entertainment, and Rob Steffens, co-president of Marvel Entertainment, has also been laid off. And there are a large number of other names, both senior and junior, that are in the process of leaving the company at this point. Now, a lot of this, it is as much as you want it to be like, hey, this somebody came in and finally started reading some of these comics, said bullshit, and then started firing people. No, it's actually much more benign than that, in the sense that Disney looks at their operations, they look at all the various companies that are operating independently, and they said, you know what, if we merge them fully into other parts of the business, then we don't need all these people, and we get the efficiencies of scale rather than have a separate legal department, a separate licensing department, a separate go-to-market marketing department. We'll just have one marketing department serve all these things. Instead of having a bunch of executives all with their own administrative assistants, we'll just get rid of those executives, give them package on the way out, remove those admins, and streamline the entire kind of overall process. That's where that's what has happened. This is a classic company downsizing, merger of business units, but it also means something else. It means that Marvel Entertainment, the comics division, will no longer operate in a silo. It will no longer be just kind of on its own. It is now very, very formally and will run by the rules of Disney Press, Disney Licensing, those core Disney businesses. It means that it means a number of things. So now we're into prediction time, but I was right about this one. And by the way, I'd like to give a shout out to a couple folks in particular from some of our friends over at The Beat, some of our friends over at Bleeding Cool, and last but not least, the Comics X, that group of people who all said I was a doomsday full of shit person for saying that this stuff was going to happen that actually happened today. So, hey, screw you. That's my answer today. So, sorry. Gosh, amazing what things happen. But you could have predicted this a mile away. This was, in the grand scheme of things, I'm not going to break my arm patting myself on the back, because literally anyone paying attention would have predicted this. You have a giant corporation. It lost a lot of money during COVID. It's starting to bleed subscribers with their streaming service, which is where a lot of the growth was going to come from. They haven't had the big movie hit that they've expected. There's softness overall in their line of business. What do? You cut costs, so you bump the share price up, and give your shareholders something back and put some more money in the bank. That's what you do. That's what every company does. That's what they've done for a long ass time. And you look around and you say, all right, I've got this big umbrella company. I've got all these little islands out there operating independently. I maybe we shouldn't do that. That's we're wasting a bunch of money. That's what happened. That's what's changed. And now it's going to be more under control. So what can you expect out of this? Well, first of all, I think the odds of Marvel leaning harder into licensing out their books, similar to the Alex Ross deal, has now skyrocketed. They're absolutely going to do more of that. It's cost-effective for them to do it. It fits in line with the business unit that, by and large, is going to control these things, and it's going to be considered a far safer bet than other things. So that you're going to see more of that. You're absolutely going to see more synergy of comics to movies, meaning, not that it was terrible before, but you are going to see, when a movie comes out, you are going to see a comic. You're going to see it aligned by that. You're probably going to see, and I hate this part, it's another guess, you're going to see people lean more into the collector speculator world. Unfortunately, as much as I hate it, the licensing department absolutely loves things like variant covers, special things, blind boxes, all that kind of stuff. You're going to see more corporate bundling opportunities. You're going to see more of kind of the Loot Crate, Humble Bumble kind of thing. You're going to see more tie-in deals as they try and connect things they're doing in the video game market with the comic books. You're going to see more of that. You are going to see less comics. I almost can guarantee you will see a reduction in the volume of comics. Marvel is not going to be producing 80 comics a month a year from now. That number is going to shrink down to 40 to 50. I can almost guarantee it. They're going to lead harder into licensing. And you're also going to see, for lack of a better word, more corporate control over some of this stuff, which means some of the creators who are signed on to do these things are going to go to other things. There's the announcement that Jonathan Hickman's doing this Gods comic to kind of flesh out some of the the cosmic stuff. If you remember, I predicted he was going to be doing something with Doctor Strange, and then Marvel came back and said, no, it's not Doctor Strange. But Doctor Strange will be in this as part of Gods. So those kinds of comics, we will see a decrease in those kinds of comics. We're going to see comics a lot more meat and potatoes, what the studio's focusing on. That's what we're gonna get. So my belief is that it will take 2 years for all the changes to be fully felt. But today, in this moment, is a major turning point for Marvel. The last major moment for them was probably when Disney bought them in the first place. This is a major kind of milestone. If you were, if this is a Jonathan Hickman X-Men book, this would be a red day as opposed to a black day. You get what I mean with the X titles coming out, the ones that are important. This is an important day. This is one of those moments in time that things will look different going forward. Anyone predicting that now, Feige's going to clean house and bring in non-woke editor, like, nope, that's not going to happen. Don't count on that. Because one other thing about Disney is the business is notoriously cheap. So if you think they're going to say, hey, Leo, we need to actually put some money into quality, no, they are absolutely not going to do that. So I would not, don't count on any of that. But you are going to see a business that far, far more resembles what Disney does in books and in, in press and other media. That's what you're going to see. That's the future. So big day, interesting day. We'll see if these predictions pan out or if people want to argue with me like they did the last time. We'll see. It works out great for people when they do that. Anyway, what do you think? Big changes on Marvel? What do you expect to see happen? What would you like to see happen? Let me know in the comments below. Like and subscribe. As always, what the hell? Subscribe. If you haven't subscribed by now, come on. And thanks for listening.